Sucker Punch, the studio best known for its work on Sly Cooper series and more so recently, Infamous, is finally back again with a new title. After being absent from the scene for almost 6 years, they have returned once more with what may be the PS4's swan song. Expectations are high from the studio that has already given us great titles. The tale of Ghost of Tsushima takes place on the island of Tsushima in Japan. You play as Jin Sakai, the honorable nephew of the current Jito of Tsushima, Lord Shimura. Shimura, with a battalion of 80 strong samurais, marches on the shores of Tsushima to confront the evading threat, the Mongols. Letting pride and honor get the best of them, the samurai forces are quickly wiped out, with the remaining being captured so that they may either fight for the Mongol army or be tortured. Jin, being one of the few survivors, manages to barely escape from the battle. Learning that his uncle is still alive, Jin must unite the people of Tsushima, though in doing so must sacrifice everything about being a samurai so that he may become the symbol his people need, the Ghost. While it may not be the most interesting story, I assure you this is one tale you don't want to miss. Captivating characters, well-written plot, and a plethora of side content meant to build the world's lore makes this one of the best open-world adventures out there to date. The world of Tsushima is a large one, spanning across the whole island in a total of 3 sections. Players will find plenty of content outside of the main quest to keep them busy. While the main campaign ran me through roughly 13 hours, completing all the side stories, liberating all the camps, and collecting all the collectibles easy threw me well over 40 hours. 40 hours plus that was well worth it, as there was never a dull moment, as everything felt unique. While I went in expecting there to be plenty of fetch style quests, I was quite shocked to see that this was not the case. Side content served as a complement to the game's main story by expanding on key elements not explored by it. Because of this, I found myself more sidetracked by what the world offered and compelled to finish everything before the main narrative. The only other title I can say that has ever done this for me would be The Witcher 3. Yes, the side content is just that good.
I need you with me.
We've lost so many.
We have to keep pushing, Lord Sakai, even if it costs us our lives.
As you command, Lord Shimura.
The nice thing about the side content is that not only does it reward you with unique armor pieces, but also pretty awesome combat moves. They're well worth the experience, though if you want to play solely for the main narrative, you won't be disappointed. As for the combat, it's surprisingly deeper than what I originally thought. While it opens up with the basic heavy and light attacks that you would expect in a hack and slash, as you level up, you unlock new stances that provide more interesting approaches. In total, there are 4 unique stances that the players can unlock and use freely during combat. Each stance is optimized for specific situations, such as taking down a heavy brute or breaking the shield of an opponent. You can invest skill points into each of them to unlock different combos, and as mentioned, you can freely switch between them during combat. There's huge satisfaction in delivering combos, and it's all done in such a beautiful way on screen I couldn't help but feel as if I was in some sort of samurai film. And it expands further beyond combos, as there are weapons known as ghost weapons that add even more variety to the gameplay. Facing off against a horde of huge enemies, throw a smoke bomb to silently sneak away or stealthily take them out. Plenty of unique ways to go about combat, as the game offers near freedom in your approach. That does go without saying that I did have a few issues with the game. For starters, there's not a lock-on camera or assist. There is an enemy lock-on feature. However, if that enemy appears to be off-screen, then you're wrestling with the camera to properly align you in the correct direction. An odd oversight, as it is easy to get overwhelmed by enemies. You do get used to it, but even still it would be nice to have some camera assist. There's also the tutorial pop-ups that get annoying as they pause combat to tell you to switch stance. Occurrences that happen well after the 10-hour mark when you've already learned everything. And then there's Kurosawa mode. A mode I was really looking forward to, though the visual aids somewhat ruined the experience. Items so much harder to find as they blend into the environment, and knowing the attacks an enemy is performing, such as blue strikes, which can be parried, or red strikes indicating to dodge. In Kurosawa mode, they all have the same color indicator, so you're constantly making the wrong combat choice. However, these are pretty minor when you're considering the full package that you are getting. Annoyances for sure, but by the time I was halfway through, I had already learned to master them. The next thing to discuss would be the visuals. While Ghost of Tsushima doesn't aim to be super realistic like the recent The Last of Us Part 2, it is still one of the best looking titles I have seen, especially for an open world game. This is all thanks to the art direction, as environments are heavy diverse with lush bright colors. Constantly throughout my playthrough, I found myself stopping to look at beautiful environments. They're so good it almost feels like I'm watching a painting in motion. There's a range of emotions that is being told in each area of the game, done so without even speaking a single word. Combined with an amazing soundtrack, the world of Tsushima is just one that would be talked about for years. Overall, Ghost of Tsushima is a fantastic game that reels you into the world of the samurai. From a great story narrative to fantastic combat, I highly recommend you pick up this game as you will not be disappointed.